Good afternoon. This is the House Appropriations Committee. It is Monday, January 27th, 2025. It's just after 2 o'clock, and we are continuing with our committee orientation, and we'll be talking about the House Appropriations Committee page and how it's organized, which becomes really important because of the amount of paper and things we get coming at us. So we are very lucky to have our very own Erin Pedley and Maria Blair. Erin is a senior staff associate with the Joint Fiscal Office, and Maria is associate fiscal officer. So they are here to answer all of our questions. And Erin, will let you take it away.
Okay. I think you all know me, Erin Pedley with the Joint Fiscal Office. So I am here today to talk to you a little bit about the organization of documents on the committee page. I'm always happy to help people locate documents that they need, but pretty much everything that any witness would bring in front of the committee is going to get posted onto your website. So it's a really good place to go if you're looking for information, especially if it's on a weekend or after hours when I may not be available. So I'm going to share my screen to the committee page in just a second and just kind of run through it. And it may be information that is not new for a lot of you. So if you think I'm leaving anything out that's important, please, especially you, Maria, feel free to interject, but I thought it might be a good review for all of us. And it looks like I got kicked off of the Zoom, so I'm going to rejoin the Zoom. Oops. And then hopefully share my screen.
We have to give you screen sharing permission.
I already gave myself screen sharing permissions. Okay. It is not showing.
Oh, no, here you go.
Okay, we're just a little delayed today. That's okay. So you'll see here our committee page. Everything that's posted is tagged with a few different identifiers, the first being the date. So if you're looking for something that is today, when you go to the committee page, the first thing you'll see is browse by date. And you can just click on whatever the day is and you'll see everything sorted by witness. So that's probably the easiest way to find documents. That becomes less easy as we move into the session and we have more and more committee meeting days that are on our page. And you may not remember what day that a witness came in on. And contrary to what some people think, there are ways to search for documents that do not revolve around the date. I think the best way to find things is probably by witness. So if you're looking for something from the tax department, for example, oh, and we lost screen sharing again. That's good. But if you're looking for something that the tax department came in and you know that Commissioner Bolio was the one who presented the document, on the committee page, you can actually search by witness and you can look up their name. And if you click on their name, any document that has been uploaded under their name will show up.
And when you are doing the under the documents, if you're looking at the date, Monday, we've only had one thing from Grady, but if you look, it's alphabetical by the first word. So it's alphabetical by the first name. So Friday, we had Emily Byrne gave us something. And then all the House committee letters came because H comes after E. So Commissioner Bolio will be under Craig Bolio, I believe. So you need to know their first name.
Yes, and you can search. So right now, I think we only have 51 witnesses listed on our page, so it's pretty easy to scroll through. But as we progress through the session, it's going to get significantly busier on our committee page. But that's a really good way to search for documents that you're looking for. Another note is that certain documents will be used on multiple days in committee. For example, Commissioner Gresham came in a few times to talk about the Budget Adjustment Act. I try to post, so if he uses the language today and then also comes in tomorrow to talk about the language again, I try to post it under both days so that it's easy for not only the committee members to pull up the documents if they need to, but also for anyone who may be watching the live stream or sitting in the committee and just trying to follow what's happening and what documents are being discussed. So I try to do that as well. So I also just wanted to, are there any questions about that stuff so far?
If you repeat each day, it doesn't mean it shows up twice if they click on Adam Gresham right now, does it?
Yes, it will.
It will.
Yep.
You'll have the same. So how do you know which is the latest version?
By date.
By date?
By date. I would go with whatever the most recent one.
So if we look at Adam right there, Karen put up, she has BAA language on the 14th and on the 21st
In the 10th.
and the 10th. So the 10th was the first one we got.
Right.
Yep.
That one is the one he changed to another one. So I would go to the date, the
Okay.
most recent date.
All right. Thank you.
So another tab that will become important as session progresses is the Reports and Resources tab. So right now we don't have anything on the Reports and Resources tab because I'm in the process of organizing the reports that are due to the committee. I'm going to compile those into a list because there's quite a few that came in December and the first week of January. But I'm sorting through those to make sure we're not missing anything, and then they'll be uploaded. The Reports and Resources tab is a little bit different than the regular committee documents because it's organized by department that submits it rather than by person. So if we go back to the 23-24 session and go to the House Appropriations page and go to the Reports and Resources tab, you'll see that they're organized by whoever submitted the report to the committee.
So if I could interject here, Erin will send me a link to the report when she posts one, a new report. I will try to remember to take 2 minutes either before or at the end of a session and just say new reports posted and send it to the person whose area, a budget area that is. So if it were a judiciary report, I would mention it to everybody, but then send it to Trevor because that's his budget area. So you're all welcome to read every single report. And to the extent that you can, please do, but it's most important that the budget, if it's your budget area, that you do read and understand it.
And most of the reports that are submitted will not be, like the contents of the reports will not be discussed on the live stream. But something might be of interest to you and they're statutorily required to come to this committee. So they're posted there so that you have access to them. And even if you aren't discussing them, they may have something to do with your section of the budget. So they may become important information to you as the session progresses. Any questions about reports and resources? Jim can be your go-to person for those. And one last thing that I wanted to touch on is the organization of the budget documents. So if you go to our committee homepage and then you go to browse by other and you choose other documents, you'll see a few folders that I've organized. So if you're looking for anything to do with the FY25 budget adjustment, if you click on that, you'll see a few subfolders. So if you're looking to download multiple pieces of testimony documents, this might be a better way to do it than to go by date or by witness. Like, for example, if you wanted to look at all the written testimony that was submitted for our budget adjustment public hearing, you can choose the public hearing testimony folder. And if you click on that, you will see all the testimony that was submitted organized by the name of the witness and the organization or subject matter that they were representing or discussing. Any questions about budget adjustment documents?
Very helpful.
Thank you.
Jim?
Erin, when the BAA becomes a bill, we actually have a number. Do you still keep it in this area or do you put it under the bill header?
That's a good question. So because technically the budget and the budget adjustment are committee bills, they're not going to move into the bill folder under a number. And that's the same procedure that other committees follow if they produce a committee bill, is that it stays under a subject And I may change the naming convention a little bit so that it's easier to track and identify for people, but it's not going to, the documents will not move over into one of the bill folders.
So that bill folder, which is currently empty, is because we haven't gotten any bills from other committees. But as they start coming in, if we were to look at last year, let's look at last
We can.
biennium, just so we can see how many bills came to our. In the last weekend.
So this is the last biennium House Appropriations Committee page, and these are the bills that came through the committee. So not every bill will be in this folder. It's only bills that are referred to this committee specifically.
How many did we have?
I don't know, but there was quite a few.
Quite a few.
50 on a page?
I'm scrolling on my screen, but the screen that I'm
Oh.
sharing isn't scrolling. But there was a bit. There was quite a few of them.
Certainly glad I'm not clerk.
I think it's gonna change this year. Okay, yeah, isn't it 50 on a page or something?
It's probably 150, 170 at least.
Oh, let's see, I have them all on one page. Yeah, it was,
And within each subfolder, so if you were to click on a bill, you would see 3 folders. There's drafts, amendments, and legal documents, that would be like the language, or if there's a fiscal note attached to a bill, that's where you would see it. There's a public comment folder, so if we receive any emails or public comment regarding that bill specifically, and then there's also a committee of conference folder if there is a committee of conference, which is not the case for most bills.
Aaron, as we get bills through, a lot of people will send us emails, okay, with their position on the bill, please pass, H100, whatever. You may not necessarily automatically be copied on that, because they just look at who the committee members are and they'll click emails to each of us. Should we be forwarding those to you for posting, or is that our emails considered different in that they're just correspondence?
I think traditionally, I haven't received every single piece of public comment that is sent to legislators by their constituents. Generally, if it's a lobbyist or someone regarding a public hearing, they know to send it to me, because their intention is not only to provide their comment to you, but also to make it publicly attached to the subject matter. I would defer to individual committee members on if they want me to post any public comment that they receive.
Okay, I'm not looking to add more work on your end, and if they copied you, that's.
I think that would be one thing, but I get constituents email, support this, don't support that, and that's not supposed to be going up here.
No, I'm talking about a bill that we have coming through. We do get, like any committee, all of a sudden we'll start getting, emails, and you can see they're addressed to all of us.
So then we read them, but I would say
Yeah.
unless they've asked to be put into written testimony, as a rule, we wouldn't.
That's fine.
Questions, Wayne?
Usually it depends on if you know the person or not, but for me, if they don't ask me a specific question that they want me to respond to, I leave it alone.
Thank you for your email.
Any further questions on bills or bill folders?
I have a question, not in that section. Are you going to talk about bills in and out of committee? I've never understood.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Thank you.
So as bills come into the committee, they will not only show up under that bill tab in a folder, but they will also show up in this separate tab over here. And Robin, was there anything specific
Well, I
you wanted
just
to cover?
didn't understand really how it worked and why is that a good place to get a summary? It's not, I didn't even know about it for a few years and then I found it but I'm not sure how.
So this is the one piece of the committee page that I don't control or post or
Okay.
update. So like you wouldn't see you wouldn't see a folder for a bill in that other section unless I create the folder. But over here, I believe it's the House Clerk's office
Okay.
that keeps this updated.
Oh,
And you can see what's currently in committee. So like, I think these bills that you're seeing here in this tab are bills that died on the wall or were left on the wall at the end of the biennium. There's only 10 of them, but then you can see what moved out of committee and committee bills under this tab. So again, this is something that I'm not updating.
oh, I didn't know that, so that's good to know.
But it does link to, so the other folder doesn't link to the main page for the bill, but this page does. So like if you wanted to see the whole history of the bill and where it's been, you can go right from there and it'll show you who the sponsors are. It'll show you the text. You can see who from Ledge Council drafted it. You can see any fiscal notes if those are available. So it just gives you a little bit more detail on the bill specifically without actually having to look it up.
So on the top of the page or is search functions.
Right here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I've never been clear. Like it always seems clunky to me. Because I don't know if you need to have a capital H period 140 or if it's loosey-goosey where you can just type in H140. Are there any specific rules that we should know to make it work better? I mean, a keyword to me has never really worked.
Yeah, that's a very vague way to search. I would, if you're looking for something specific, by bill number is probably best. And I believe you can just, I don't
You
use
just
this.
do a small, I just did it with the one bill that I submitted, H66. I did small capital H and then 66, no dot, and it showed up.
And I think you can even just type in one number and it
Like 66?
So I just typed in 66 and you'll see it returned
Oh, yeah.
H461, which is Act 66. And then it also returned S66. So
Because
it's a little bit,
you're in last year's.
Yes.
So if I were to do it, yeah.
but it's a little bit broader of a search. And if I ever have issues looking for something and I'm not able, so I just typed in 66 and you'll see it returned
Oh, yeah.
H460. Sounds familiar.
You're so good with your.
I'm always,
66 works.
if you're ever looking for something and you're not able to find it, I'm happy to help. And IT is also a really good resource. You can put it in eHelp, and they're very good at finding things that may not be easy to locate.
When I've been frustrated, I just use Google and it seems to work out just fine.
That's also
I mean, it
a
gets
thing to do.
It gets you back to the legislative page, but it's just.
If it gets you the information you're looking for, then that's always good.
Also to give you access to H66.
Ah, that's true. Then you have to sort through a lot of things.
So I think if there's no other questions, I'll just move on to, or do you have a question?
What you move, it might be where I'm gonna question.
I was gonna go to the budget folder.
Well, may I just jump in?
Go ahead.
If I wanted to search the live streams
Yes.
and they're all there,
Mhm.
would you just go to like, date? Find the date, okay, it was Adam Gresham on January, yada, yada. Do it that way? Is that? are there
Yes.
Other
So
ways,
like,
or does that work?
so if I'm looking for a specific piece of testimony, that someone gave, it can be hard to search the YouTube live streams. Because, sometimes we have a meeting at 1:00 and then
Mhm.
the 1:30 testimony is under that 1:00 label on the YouTube because there wasn't a break. So it's the same stream with multiple pieces of testimony. If you're trying to go farther back, like if it was yesterday, it's pretty easy to find. But if you're trying to go further back, what I found is the best way to do it is on the committee page. If you, right underneath where the current week's agenda is posted, if you go to previous meetings and click on it, and then click on full report, it generates a page that contains all of the committee's previous meetings in one document. And so if I'm looking for something Commissioner Gresham did, I'll Control F. So do like a search on the page and I'll do Control F. And I'll do Commissioner Gresham, and I'll find his name, and I'll find whatever piece of testimony I'm looking for. And I'll say, oh, it was Friday, January 10th at 1:30. And then I'll go back through the YouTube live videos and find that specific piece. So again, it can be a little bit clunkier. And if you're looking for something quickly and having trouble finding it, that's something that I can do for you as well and just send you the link.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Fast for this stuff. That's good to know. I didn't know that either, right?
There's no links or anything on the pages to YouTube. You have to go to YouTube itself and search. right?
No?
No?
No, there is. So there's the link to the live stream is right here, and that will bring you to the main page because everything is streamed on YouTube and it's on the specific House of
Just don't hit live
Appropriations
while you're
page.
reading.
So if you click on that right now, live stream, Aaron, let's see what shows up.
So you're gonna have a little bit of a different view because I'm currently running a live stream.
So that
on this
was live,
page.
but if you scroll
So it'll look
down,
a little bit different.
here's past live streams.
You can-
And there's a tab where you can choose up at the top if you choose live, and you can go all the way back. So for example, where I said we were looking at for Commissioner Gresham's testimony on Friday at 1:30, we could go to that date and check out the times, and you would be able to find the video that that testimony is housed in relatively quickly.
But every time we take a break, it's a new video.
Yes, and it's labeled with timestamps. So sometimes the timestamp may not necessarily correspond to the time that's on the agenda because there's multiple pieces of testimony in that one stream.
There's not a way to search the videos themselves. You just gotta know the date, right?
Yes.
Isn't that what the new software?
Well, I was just thinking, I probably, well, yeah, that's what I thought. But that's not on our website, right?
The new
Correct.
stuff is coming in 2 years?
No,
Or no?
no, no,
No,
no.
Tom Eslin, AI.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
Golden Dome VT, that's a private,
yeah.
you could try there. See what you see. And also there's a transcription to go with it too,
Probably
which is
David's
the neat.
constituent.
I don't know if it's David's constituent, actually.
I don't think he's actually in my little corner,
Yeah. That's that general area.
but
Nearby,
goodbye.
Yeah.
nearby. Other questions? Aaron, what else do you have?
So I think the last thing that I briefly wanted to touch on was the organization of the budget documents, since we're going to be starting that tomorrow. So if you go to the committee page and you choose other documents, you'll notice that not only is there a budget adjustment folder, but I also created an FY26 budget folder. And if you click on that, you will see that I created the folders for the different sections of government. There's nothing in them yet, but if you're curious about how it's organized, you can also go back to last biennium and see what the budget folders look like. But it's organized this way because you're going to receive a lot of documents and it's helpful to sort them in a way that makes sense and makes them easier to find. This is also how the Joint Fiscal Office organizes these documents on their webpage. So I think it's helpful that they kind of relate back to each other.
So the numbers here do not translate into the 100, 200, 300 sections.
No, so the reason they're numbered is because if I don't do that, they will
Right.
default to alphabetical order.
Yes, no, and that's fine. I just wanted people to know this is not one of the places that ties to the numbers, the number section of the budget. So labor would be the 400 section, but it's number 5 here. And we don't do transportation in here.
No, I believe that falls into a different category. And I have a document that has more details on the subfolders within these. And I think we can also edit them as needed if you wanted to add something or create a new folder. And I will also just bring your attention to there's the other presentations folder, which, for example, if there is a report that's submitted that the committee finds relevant that might relate to loosely to FY26 budget testimony, I might put that presentation there. And then there's also a public hearing folder and a folder for information from the subject matter committees as well.
So these numbers as they're listed here match, you said JFO, but also match the web report, is that
No, they don't
do
match
not
anything.
match
Yeah.
the web report. These,
the links? I mean, they're similar to they're the same, they're not the same links, but they don't correlate to the web report.
No.
No.
numbers. Right.
so if you go to I post all of the committee documents onto the committee page, but they also get posted to the Joint Fiscal Office website. So if you ever need to look in another place, or you want to send a constituent a link specifically to the Joint Fiscal Office website for some reason, you can do that. So this is the main page for JFO, and if you go to subjects, and you do budgets by department, and wait for the page to load.
No, it's, that little thing doesn't want to go there yet.
Well, it's loading on mine. But you'll see that the folders are organized in a similar way. So it's at least consistent between the two different platforms. So it's not loading right now, but you can feel free to go look. And I manage the documents in both places and just try to keep it consistent between both so that it's easy to locate. Any questions about that?
Just showed up. Go to
It lags
appropriations.
about a minute and a half behind what I'm doing on my computer.
That is so weird. Right.
Are they working on the system?
No, it's because my computer keeps losing Wi-Fi, but that's okay. Any other questions about committee page organization? And when in doubt, if you ever have trouble finding anything or you notice an error on the committee page, let me know. And I'm happy to help you find things, and I occasionally do make mistakes, and I'd rather find out from someone on the committee than a member of the public.
I hear that.
It's rare. It's rare. But yeah, she can find anything for us, so that's really helpful. So. Good, thank you for the tour, Erin.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So. We have on our agenda, we have committee discussion and markup. Let's see, Emily is, not everybody here. So Emily has been working on a lovely spreadsheet with all the numbers, and we'll have that one tomorrow. Hopefully. Okay. Which is really what we can use for the dollars that we're talking about. So let's go live for a minute, please.